Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of Deadline by John Dunning, narrated by Ed Sala. This work is copyrighted 1981 by John Dunning. This recording is copyrighted 2000 by Recorded Books. When a circus tent fire calls New York Tribune reporter Dalton Walker into action, he's disturbed to find that an 8-year-old girl has fallen victim to the tragedy. Even more troubling is a fact that he discovers later. No relatives come to claim the body. And now, Deadline.
Chapter 1. Walker thought of himself as a hardened man. He had seen enough death in his time. Riots, executions, and later Vietnam. But now coming suddenly upon death on a busy New Jersey street, he was shocked. On a dirt lot behind a shopping center, a circus tent was on fire. There wasn't anything to be done. If there were still people inside, they were goners, plain and simple. Still, he pulled the car to the curb and wrenched open the door, taking himself with long strides toward the burning canvas. The first of the fire trucks had arrived, but the tent already had crumbled in around its two main poles. It went up like a sheet of paper, reminding him of those old Hindenburg pictures with the people rushing out of the flames looking like ants scurrying away from something they couldn't quite understand. Rescue units came past. Another large pumper came by in a shock wave of sirens. So much death, so much pain, and all in the few moments it took him to stop and cross the street. It drew him until he could feel the heat on his face and arms. He was a kid again, covering his first fire, with a young man's fascination for the wailing siren. He'd been around the world 10 times over, had won a Pulitzer Prize and a National Book Award, and still he was drawn by sirens and smoke. The tent belonged to one of those tiny traveling circuses, the kind his dad had known when the world was younger, the kind of circus kids used to run away to join. They didn't have many like that these days. The big tent had held 3,000 people, no more, and now many of them lay moaning and writhing on the brown grass at the fringe of the parking lot. 2 firemen brushed past, and one of them thrust the head of a stretcher at Walker. "Here, buddy, take this." Walker gripped the poles and looked at the man on the other end, a sad face by nature, infinitely sadder now over the tiny burden he carried.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?